Very confused, but that's fine. Creating double the tokens, that makes sense as well. Sephiroth would be fantastic, I'm not gonna lie. Final value 3 or greater, so I have none of those. And okay, we got a Sephiroth. Now, how do we do this? We can play Sephiroth, kill something, get something. Kill Zaur maybe, and get a card. Yeah, I think that's the play. Because we kill Zaur, Bartolome is he is very good, but yeah, sure, I'll go with that. Who cares? I'll go with that as well. Now, yeah, I think that's the play there, because everything to the face, he needs to block with everything, so, or he needs to block everything, I mean. So just with Sephiroth triggers alone, I think we got this, no? Or am I thinking this incorrectly? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Bunch of creatures died. So yeah, we got this. That was great. That was actually exactly what the deck wants to do. So that was... How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another video on the channel. Today's video is going to be another deck tag, and it's going to be a standard deck tag. I call it SACRIROTH because it doesn't make any sense, I know, but it's centered around the new Sephiroth from Final Fantasy, Sephiroth Fable Soldier, which basically whenever it enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And if this is the 4th time the ability has resolved this turn, you transform Sephiroth. Now, Sephiroth, one-winged angel as flying, it's a 5/5, but it has one thing that's even better. You get an emblem when this creature transforms that says whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And whenever it attacks, you might sacrifice a number of other creatures. If you do, draw that many cards. So it's Sephiroth on steroids, basically. We are running 3 of these, and then we're running very small, low to the ground. As you can see, like 3 cost things is the most we have, but we are running 3 Forsaken Miners that we can sacrifice and get back every time we ping them with Sephiroth. We are running 4 Infestation Sages that not only are very small, so you can play them turn 1. You can sacrifice them with Sephiroth or other sac outlets that I'll show you in a bit, and you get a token that you can do that again and again and again. Nezumi Link Breaker is just like Infestation Sage, a 1/1 drop that when it dies you get a token, so fantastic. You have Authority of the Councils to try and control a little bit those crazy aggressive decks that still are around. We are only running 2. This gives us a little bit of life, not bad. Now, you also have Voice of Victory. With this on the battlefield, you can actually get a lot of triggers from Sephiroth and cards that serve as a redundancy to Sephiroth, like Vengeful Blood Witch and Elazil Core, that also ping your opponents every time a creature dies. This is as mobilized too, so every time it attacks it creates 2 tokens, which means that, let's say you have Voice of Victory on the battlefield and Vengeful Blood Witch or Elazil Core, for example. You attack with Voice of Victory, create 2 tokens. On your second main, you put Sephiroth, you sacrifice one of those tokens with Sephiroth, you get a bunch of triggers. You might even transform Sephiroth in that same turn, which is insane. Plus you get life back and the card, so the synergies are crazy. You then have more immediate sac outlets. I added Vampiric Rites to this list. It didn't have this, but I felt like I needed more. This draws cards and gains life, and you can pay 2, sacrifice a creature, which is pretty much what you want, and you know, get life, get a card. Pretty good. It synergizes with all of the ping creatures that we have, like the Blood Witch, Elazil Core, and Sephiroth. And then you have Bartolome del Presidio as well, which is fantastic to create a huge threat. Removal, we're not running a lot, just 3 Go for Throats that I added 1 for the last like 2 games or something, and 3 Veins Treachery, which is very good against those Tifa decks that we are seeing, because you can sack a creature, right? And you have a bunch of them to sack, and target creature gets -6/-6, which can be very helpful. And then card draw, just simple card draw. We have Treacherous Greed. It's one of the most expensive cards in the deck, costing 3. You draw 3 cards. Each opponent loses 3 life. You gain 3 life. So life gain. You ping your opponent. You draw 3 cards, which is fantastic. But you need to sacrifice a creature that dealt damage this turn. So Infestation Sage, Nezumi Link Breaker, Forsaken Miner, one of the tokens of Voice of Victory. They're all very, very, very good targets for a Treacherous Greed. And that's it, guys. We're running 22 lands because we saw a lot of games. We were running 21 and we saw a lot of games where we didn't see any land, or we see a bunch of land. So it's the shuffler at work, can't really do anything else. But apart from that, like, is pretty self-explanatory. Put small things, kill small things, ping your opponents, gain life, draw cards. So pretty decent. I think you're gonna like it. I think you should try the deck, maybe make it better. Put down in comments what you change. And yeah, I think the videos speak for themselves. I spoke long enough as well, so let's get in some games. Okay, so let's see how this deck performs on rank. Like on play, it was mopping up our opponents left, right, and center. I must have played like 20 games. I'm sure did win at least 13 or 14 of those. I'll keep this. Great end. Turn 1 Forsaken Miner. Turn 2 Voice of Victory. Turn 3 Sephiroth, maybe? Well, definitely turn 3 Sephiroth, but let me attack first. Okay. Now we need to see what our opponent has. He's gonna kill the Voice of Victory. Okay. That's not like fantastic, but it's also not the worst thing that has ever happened. Yeah, sure. Got another land, which sucks, but so Sephiroth will die 100%. Yep. On rank, this is just what we see. Now it's Pixie decks. This is insanity, bro. Insanity. On rank, we only play against decks like this, man. Only play against decks like this. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. We will still win 1. Ping for 1. Oh, and we can actually bring back the miner, which is pretty cool. I forgot about that one. He has another nowhere to run because of course he has. Oh god, man. That's insane. Okay, so let us Sephiroth again. Take out Nezumi. Get a card, get the miner back. And we'll pass turn. Supposedly this should be good enough, but our opponent has everything, so nowhere to run on Sephiroth, of course, of course, of course. So I guess this is a good one. And we can, let me see, let me think. We can kill whatever next turn. So first I'm gonna attack with both actually. Let me see. Will he block with the Kirin? Will he let it go? Because I don't have flyers, so he should probably let that one go. That makes sense. Okay, I'll just pass turn because I'm kind of curious to see what our opponent has, not gonna lie. Okay, a Beza. We can take Beza out. I will kill Beza, take out that thing because I can bring it back. He's still gonna draw a card and he's still going to get more life, which sucks for us, but you know how these things go, right? Okay, my turn. Treacherous Greed in this situation isn't terrible. I'm going to attack with both. And now I will Treacherous Greed, sacrificing that thing there. Draw 3, gain 3. And I think Nezumi Linebreaker is a good one because depending on what our opponent does, I can stack several things because I can bring back the what's it called, the miner, so that isn't terrible for us. Okay, another land because of course. I'm going to Voice of Victory and let's see. I can I'm going to see if I can do this. Like, our opponent can't play anything during our turn, so it should be good enough. Okay, and I'll Infestation Mage as well, and I will just pass turn. Now our opponent has 3 creatures, we have a bunch of blockers. Sephiroth is here, so next turn a lot can happen. We need to be smart. Voice of Victory, if Voice of Victory survives, we will most likely win. Let's see. He's gonna kill Voice of Victory, of course, but I will take the opportunity to make Bartolome a little bit bigger. Because I really have no issues with 2, 4, 6. Okay, so we're taking 6, I guess. Yeah, I'm not gonna block anything. I kind of want to see what our opponent has or does. Okay, each opponent loses 2 life. He gains 2. Surveil. Okay. So we're going down to 6. Our opponent has 12. But, you know, not drawing. He's only surveilling. And we have a bunch of stuff. Another Bartolome is good. So I'm gonna Sephiroth again. Let's see. Our opponent definitely has something. Maybe it's the Momentum Breaker, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna have something. So first, I'm gonna take out the Infestation Sage because it's gonna create another token. Okay, do a card that no one really cares about. I will take the miner back. And now I can, let me think. I will attack with those two. Gonna block with one, the Bartolome most likely. Yes, that's fine. Another creature dies. I will now sacrifice the miner because another creature dies. I will pay it again. And I will sacrifice it again. And I will pay it again. And unfortunately, I cannot make this into a loop, but, you know. Now I have that emblem that says that whenever a creature I control dies, my opponent gets pinged and I gain 1 life, right? Yeah, so at least I have that. I have 4 more life that I can gain because I can instantly sacrifice stuff with Bartolome, so that's something. Okay, so with this, our opponent takes basically everything out of the board. Well, that's fine then. I'll sacrifice that. It's everything that's 2 or less, right? Yeah. So I'll just keep sacrificing stuff. I don't think Sephiroth or the Preacher leave. Yeah, the Preacher doesn't leave. Sephiroth does not leave either. Okay, he's gaining 4 more life, which is expected. And I can only sacrifice another. So okay. Okay, he's attacking. Obviously, I'm not gonna block Sephiroth. That would be dumb. And we got a crappy land card. Sure, you know what? I'll do that because I'll be able to get the miner back. And we cannot forget something here, which is this. Plus, at the end of turn, I will try and do something when he attacks with the Preacher or something. Because I will not have a loop, but at least I'll have something. Okay, so I'm gonna do that now. Sacrifice an artifact or a creature. I'll sacrifice the miner. I cannot get it back, but I get the win at least. So here we go. Good game. Apologies for not saying it before, Sancti, but good game. Finally a good win. This took a while. Our opponent, like the matchmaker, brought us against another one of these like removal heavy decks, you know, which is normal, I guess, but there's a lot of decks I play that I see 0 of these, and it's like the 3rd game in a row, but still solid win. Let's get into another one. Okay, so 2 terrible games in a row after that win, unfortunately. One against Landfall and the other against Life Gain, but you know, it is what it is. We go and go again. I like this end, to be honest. I'll keep a little slower than what I wanted, but is this a mirror match? Is this a mirror match? I'll go with this one. It really does not matter. We need to see what we get land-wise. That's actually perfect because now we can get more stuff on the battlefield. So I still don't know what our opponent is playing with. It might be tokens, it might be a mirror match, it might be Sephiroth, it might be a life gain. I doubt it's life gain. Okay. Probably discard. Really? Okay. I don't think that did a lot, but I will definitely take it. So First of all, Sephiroth is going down. I will go with that. Voice of Victory is very good. I can attack there and I can attack there because our opponent has no other things that he can do. So board wipe, no. Okay. Taking Sephiroth out of the equation. Voice of Victory or Zaur. I think I'll go with Zaur. I think that's going to be important for the long term. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to play that one tap. Okay, of course, he's going to Sunfall. I'm going to take one of those out. Vengeful. Yeah, I'll take that. So again, heavy control deck. Again, I'm going to say it again. Heavy control deck is what we're being paired up against. So, fun. Another Sunfall maybe? Can definitely see that being the case. Can definitely see that happening. Okay. What the hell is happening? He's gonna put a Planeswalker in his hand. No. He is so... Okay, I guess. My turn. That is crap. That is absolute crap. I'm gonna attack because I can actually kill the token with that. So all good. Okay, I knew he was going to do that. Let's see. I can sacrifice a creature, one of the tokens, or I can just -1, -2, and yeah, okay. You know what? I'll let him block first, and then I'll decide. Yeah, I figured he was going to do that. No need to sack anything. I will sack it now so that I can surveil, ping him for a little bit extra. Forsaken Miner, nope, don't want it. I will just pass turn. Okay, that's obvious what our opponent's going to choose. Yashiok. That's what he got, so... And the Elspeth as well, okay. That costs 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they cost 1 less. Very confused, but that's fine. Creating double the tokens, that makes sense as well. Sephiroth would be fantastic, I'm not gonna lie. Final value 3 or greater, so I have none of those. And okay. Okay, we got a Sephiroth. Now, how do we do this? We can play Sephiroth, kill something, get something. Kill Zaur maybe? And get a card. Yeah, I think that's the play. Because we kill Zaur. Bartolome is very... It is very good, but... Yeah, sure, I'll go with that. Who cares? I'll go with that as well. Now. Yeah, I think that's the play there because... Select player. Everything to the face. He needs to block with everything, so... Or he needs to block everything, I mean. So just with Sephiroth triggers alone... I think we got this, no? Or am I thinking this incorrectly? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Bunch of creatures died. So yeah, we got this. That was great. That was actually exactly what the deck wants to do, so that was perfect. This is something that I really liked, and it's not because we won, it's just okay, it's a very controlly deck, and that's annoying as hell because that's all we've seen, but at least it's different, you know. It's Urza assembles the Titans deck where he plays with a lot of planeswalkers, he gets a lot of tokens, you know, he needs to control the board to make his plan work, but then he does something. It's just not removal, and nothing else, you know what I mean? Pretty happy with this one. Let's get into another one. Okay guys, so new day, new rank. Sorry, I'm talking a little bit lower maybe than usual, but it's very early. I'm the only one awake. Let me see. I think this is a good hand, but we're probably gonna struggle with finding land, which has been happening a little with this deck, but that is fine for now. Okay, I will immediately voice a victory because Bartolome del Presidio is coming down next turn, which means I can make it bigger if the voice of victory survives and can attack. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, perfect. That can happen. I will immediately put it there. Deal 4 damage, and let's just make this one a little bit bigger. This card is broken, man. I wish this had like what's it called, scry or something. That would be amazing. So now we need one land and maybe Sephiroth or something. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. Doing the same to Voice of Victory wouldn't be, but okay. Thunder Trap Trainer. Okay, so that sucks. That definitely sucks. Can't bargain that. If you bargain, you need to sacrifice a creature. Yeah, I'm gonna go do the same. Pretty much because if he wants to kill the Bartolome del Presidio, then he needs to sack Thunder Trap Trainer or whatever other creature, so I think that still might be the best thing we can do at this point. Next turn I would like to Elazil Core and Infestation Sage, or if Infestation Sage and leave the Go for Throat open. Oh, he must have two. That's fine. He will spend his whole turn doing that. That is perfectly fine. He will spend his whole turn doing that. Okay, we need land. Come on, man. Give me one untapped land. That sucks. That sucks. Okay, I will Elazil Core then. Because that way we will start gaining some life and pinging our opponents when the tokens die. But unfortunately, still no land. I think our opponent is kinda attacking the wrong thing. Like, Voice of Victory is worse than the other things. Exactly. At least that's how I feel. If we don't get land, then 2 Infestation Sages will come, and then I'll try and Bartolome del Presidio. On the turn after, just because... Oh my god. Oh, well, I cannot go with 2 Infestation Sages. I forgot about that, but... He's blocking, that's fine. That is one of the issues I'm finding with this deck. For sure, man. That doesn't even need to tap. That card is crazy. I have 21 lands. That's not a lot, I know, but like this deck... It only has 5 cards that cost 3. everything else costs 2 or less. So maybe I need to take out some things and put more land. Let me think. Maybe Zaur. Honestly, like, he's very good. Plus he does all the pinging stuff, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna be good enough. So let me do the math, because if I go with Bartolome, I can ping 1 there, right? Ping 2 and ping 3. First I'll attack with Alazilkar and see what he does. He'll definitely block, of course. I think I need to kill Vivi. Yeah, I think that's it, man. Another black source would be amazing. With another black source, I can either Bartolome and Infestation Sage. I can Vengeful Blood Witch and Infestation Sage, but probably those two. Sorry if you are slurping, but my coffee is very hot. Man, being like surviving this long against this deck with only 2 lands is kind of insane. So I think I'm gonna try and Vengeful Blood Witch. Our opponent might have something, might not, I don't know. Now we'll Infestation Sage. I will attack because supposedly we can start pinging our opponent with the Blood Witch if he kills our Infestation Sage, which is fine by me. And I still get the token, so plus it's a flyer, which is great. Okay, spent all his turn doing that. I'm going to try and do that, and I will attack with these 2 and see what our opponent does / has. Okay, and now let's see. Okay, that's perfect, and we got the win. This is perfect. The only thing I can complain about is, well, first of all, no land, obviously, that's annoying, but the fact that we did not see Sephiroth as well, you know, do its thing, that's the whole point of the deck, but I'm not gonna complain about that. It's just a very minor detail, because this is exactly what the deck wants to do, so let's just enjoy it and get into another one. We just had a very good game. It was a loss, but it was against a Monument to Endurance deck. We got our opponent to 3, but then we went on top deck mode and our opponent just took over the board and the game. It was a very good, interesting game, but unfortunately it was almost 20 minutes. That's why I'm not gonna really show you guys. But again, very good, very interesting, much better than what we've been seeing so far. I like the fact that I have Go for Throat and Vein's Treachery. We will see how well we can utilize those, because I feel we're playing against Tifa deck again. The hell is this? Okay, that's interesting. That is for sure interesting. I will Voice of Victory immediately, because we can next turn go with the Miner and the Bartolome del Presidio, trying to make the Bartolome bigger, or big in this case. Okay, so I'm starting to think it's not the Tifa deck, or at least it's not a regular one. So we will see what happens. So that and that. That is a very good combination. And I doubt our opponent blocks. And now we can make the Bartolome a little bit bigger. And next turn, let's see what happens. Like, our opponent can easily. Okay, so it's going to exile. Yeah, it's going to exile Bartolome, I'm sure. I would take out the voice of victory. Absolutely 100%, but I kind of understand at the same time. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, come on, please do it. Please do it. Attack. I cannot block. Beautiful. Okay, that sucks. So I'm going to do that. Attack with all. And it's time to Sephiroth. And I'm actually taking out. This needs 4 activations, right? You know what? I'm actually taking out the Forsaken Miner. So there's 1 activation. 2 more. Not enough for for whatever, but we can get the Forsaken Miner back, so that's not terrible. Also, this is not unkillable. And we got the win. That was great. Don't really know what our opponent was playing with. Seems it's definitely Selesnya, but not the regular one. So I have no idea. I don't know, man. Honestly, I have no idea. But not gonna complain. This was very quick. I might try and get another game. Let's see what happens next. So I'm trying one more game for you guys against Elia, Elia, I don't know. But let's hope it's a good one. I will definitely keep. This has a lot of potential, honestly. Let's see. It has even more potential now because next turn I can Infestation Sage and Nezumi Link Breaker, kind of flooding the board with creatures, with little creatures. Okay, so another Selesnya deck. You know what? I'm gonna bait into thinking we're just a little nonchalant mono black deck. Well, next turn Sephiroth is coming down. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll attack first. Okay, and we will Sephiroth. There's no counters, there's no nothing, so I'm good. We'll take out he's gonna kill him most likely, but we'll still get the trigger, so we'll still get the card draw and the ping and the token and etc. Go for Throat is a good one. Okay, it's an Overlord deck. Could this be Yuna? Treacherous Greed is also a good one. I'm happy with that. I think that's the route I'm taking. And I will take that one out. Okay, we just got another Sephiroth and that one, which is fantastic. Okay, so it's time to maybe get some life. I don't know what our opponent is playing. Doubling Season. Okay. That is interesting. So we can go with that. I will attack and then I will Sephiroth again. I have no reason not to. At the same time, that will make my opponent focus on something else, you know, than the Voice of Victory, for example. We still get tokens. Okay, so Day of Judgment, destroy all creatures, bunch of pings. I don't think our opponent really thought that one completely. I don't think it's enough to kill me, but to kill him, I mean. But okay, so I will. No. Ah, Jesus. Well, I can actually go with that. That's not terrible. I'll go with that now. Let me put one there. See what we get next. Elazilkar. Perfect. Elazilkar is actually perfect. Our opponent is only on 2. We will get the vampiric rights down, which means a sack outlet for us. None of these pings our opponent. This doesn't ping our opponent either, but if our opponent plays a creature, it enters tap, so no blockers. If our opponent's sun falls or whatever, he gets tapped completely. Okay, so that is fine by me. I will Elazilkar. Let's see. And I will just attack, and let's see what kind of shenanigans our opponents have. Just target permanent card. If it's you gain 3 life. Well, maybe I should just do this and see if I can kill him. And we got the win. Okay guys, so this was a pretty decent one as well. Our opponent's deck was a little slower. He decided to double in season. I have no idea what he had, but he still got a Day of Judgment, Get Lost. He took out 2 Sephiroth, 1 Voice of Victory that couldn't even get an attack, but this time we got a bunch of smaller creatures that, you know, did some damage. When he killed Sephiroth the second time with the Day of Judgment, there was, I think, 4 creatures on my side and 1 on his side, which meant like 5 or 6 triggers from Sephiroth alone. So pretty decent. Let's get into the final thoughts. So final thoughts, everyone. I really like this deck. It has a lot of synergy, which is something I love. Sephiroth is by far one of the best creatures in Final Fantasy and one of the coolest creatures that Standard that has seen, in my opinion, in a long time. You know, you can do a lot of stuff with Sephiroth, usually these kinds of things, but still pretty decent. Now, the issues I had with this deck were not a lot of card draw. That's why I added Vampiric Rights. I didn't see a lot of land, that's why I added 1 more. I was on 21 only, and I had a lot of ends with just 2 lands that I would only see those 2 for pretty much the whole game, which is kind of crazy, man. I still don't think that's how random things work, but you know, it is what it is. The deck still won despite all of those things. This is pretty much ready for rotation. You're gonna lose Elazilkar and go for Throat, so it's just 6 cards that you're gonna lose. You have a bunch of cards to substitute. Go for the Throat. Elazilkar, not as many, but I'm pretty sure you can make the deck better with other types of cards, not just like other reiterations of Vengeful Blood Witch or Sephiroth. I took out Zaur to add 1 more land and 1 more Go for Throat. Actually, you can play 3 Zaurs maybe, you know, and you have not an instant sack outlet, but pretty much that. You can use it once on your turn and once on your opponent's turn, but you know, the deck works pretty well like this. I just felt like sometimes we got ourselves a lot in top deck mode, and I don't think that's something you want your decks to be doing. I think you need a little bit of more card draw interaction overall, because you only got 2 removal spells, basically Vein's Treachery and Go for the Throat, and everything else you're just kind of hoping you have Sephiroth or Vengeful Blood Witch or Elazilkar on the battlefield to try and ping your opponents and kill them that way. I think Vampiric Rights is something that makes a lot of sense. You gain life, you draw cards, you sacrifice creatures. This does everything you want it to do. So maybe even add more Vampiric Rights, 3, 4. I think that might work even better. I only added 3 Sephiroths because I don't have mythics. As you can see, I'm completely depleted. There's a deck I have to build, but I need 6 more uncommons, and I don't even have those, so it's sad, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed the deck. As you can see, the deck wins. We get to do a lot of crazy stuff with it. There's a lot of synergy here. There's a lot of cool new cards like Sephiroth and Vein's Treachery. I wouldn't say Vampiric Rights is a new card, but it's something that you don't see every day. Voice of Victory is newish. So pretty decent, pretty cool. Can't really complain. Midgar, City of Mako, obviously, as well. But this one, I don't know. I'm still hit and miss on this one. But that was it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. It helps out the channel a ton. It's extremely appreciated. We've seen some growth in the last couple of days. You know, we're on 268 subs, so very close to that 300 sub goal. The more videos I put out, the more we get closer to that goal. I know that, and I'm working on that, trust me. Don't forget to follow me on my socials as well. There, everything is going to be linked in the description, and that's where I ask for suggestions for our All Out Brawl series, so please do that as well. And I guess that's it. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.